Yo, and hello, everybody. Mike here, baseball collector. And tonight I am going to do a little bit of a live stream. I haven't done a live stream in a really long time and thought it would be fun to get on here and talk about the writer's ballot that has been released for the Hall of Fame for the 2025 class. And always a fun topic of discussion. And I'm going to right a wrong that has been apparently going on for a long time, because I'm going to bring a friend of mine on that I've never had on a collaboration. And I don't know why. I can't answer that. Maybe he can. But I'm going to bring him on right now, and we're going to talk Hall of Fame stuff. And that's Lou Rock TV.
What's up, beautiful people?
I was hoping Bob would be here, but whatever, you know. It's
Bob,
all good.
We had there's some big news in the Lou Rock household. So she's dealing with that. That's going to be in an upcoming stream, upcoming video, but she's good. She's enjoying Christmas break or Thanksgiving break. But one of these days, she'll be on the live.
You off all week?
Yes, I took off. Yeah, I was supposed to work the holidays, but being the old guy on my squad, on my team, I could take days that I want. So
you get all that extra. You get all that extra pay, man.
That's all right. After almost 20 years, there's more important things. Kind of like what I texted you earlier. You said you were out and about. Do you mind pushing it back? I'm like, hey, bro, family time is the most important time. I mean, I've been around, the military and my current job, and I got a kid in college now. I got another one who can't wait to go to college. And then I got Bob. So, these times are getting more precious and more, I guess as I get older, I get all sentimental, especially when I'm drinking this bourbon, you know what I'm saying? It's just like, oh, these kids.
Yeah, my son came over yesterday to do his laundry, which they never leave, man. He doesn't live here, but he comes over every week and does his laundry, which is fine. And so he's like, hey, Dad, do you want to go bowling tomorrow? And I'm like, sure, let's go bowling. And so I kept calling him, like, when are you coming over? And he's like, I won't be there till like 6. And I'm like, dude, I had the thing scheduled with you. And I'm like, well, I've got to go I'm going to go with my son, and make some memories. And I rolled pretty good, man. I used to be a serious bowler back in the day, and I rolled 135, 136, and then 194. So that's pretty good.
I'll probably do 2 games and my shoulder be hurting.
That's like Ichiro's War is what I shot tonight. But dude, we are going to talk Hall of Fame, and I know you're a fan of the Hall of Fame, just like I am. And so what I want to do is go through the ballot. I want people to comment below what they think, or comment in the comments. I'll be throwing up some of them here. And Mookie Betts would make the bowling Hall of Fame. That dude can bowl. He bowled a 300 right after the World Series. That's hilarious.
Yeah, he's good, man.
But we'll go through each of the names. And some of them are like, absolutely not. We're not going to spend a lot of time on them. But I do want to go through them. And maybe at the end, we'll throw in some things about the era committee ballot, which came out a couple weeks ago, and I've already done a video on it, but maybe I'll get your thoughts on who should be in. So as we go through the 2025 ballot, there are how many guys here? A lot, actually. Lots of first timers. And so we're going to go through these alphabetically.
A lot of last timers.
Some first timers and a lot of last timers. That's right. Ben Zobrist is not going to make the list next year.
Zorilla, great utility guy, but that's about it.
Yeah, I don't think he ain't going to make it. But let's start at the top with Bobby Abreu. He's on his 6th ballot. Yep. He missed it last year by 232 votes, so he was not really that close. He only had 15%. What's your thoughts on Bobby Abreu?
Hall of very good. I mean, great guy. It seems like he always came up clutch. I believe his WAR was where you want it to be. 60. He bounced around a little bit, but on occasion in his peak, he was one of the 2 hitters you had to pitch around, but he was never. I don't think he had the consistency. He doesn't have the milestones. He doesn't have the hardware to be a Hall of Famer. Real nice player, but I never once said, "Oh my gosh, when he retires, he's gonna be enshrined." But yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, it's okay to be a good player for a long time, and that's what he was.
Yeah, he's very good to me. I would not vote for him. I shouldn't be giving away my ballot yet. I'm going to do that later. But to me, Abreu never felt like a Hall of Famer in his career. Good for sure, no question, but not a Hall of Famer. Getting here's Abreu is a Hall of Famer and negative on Abreu. So I don't know. Everybody put in yes or no. Oh, Frank says nope. All right. Next up, Carlos Beltran, former Yankee and a former Ranger.
Yeah.
So and Astro and Met and all the different teams he played for. So wow.
So with Beltran, I great player. 5 tools all the way. 9 All-Stars, 3 Gold Gloves, Rookie of the Year. WAR is in the 70s.
Solid.
Over 400 home runs, 2,700 hits. The guy was a great baseball player. Great. Hall of Fame worthy. If we're just doing on the field, Hall of Famer in my book. He's got the accolades. He showed up big in the playoffs. Everything you need. I mean, he was a plus base runner, plus defender. The guy you feared in the lineup, the guy you pitched around the lineup. The guy was a stud. Like I said, 2,700 hits, 9 All-Stars, 3 Gold Gloves, Silver Sluggers to his name. But the guy, we're going to get into this early already, I can see. They admitted, I don't care if they were given immunity, they admitted to cheating. Now, as I was trying to explain to my kid, there's a proper way to cheat, and there's the illegal way to cheat. And I'll be real quick with my proper way to cheat. I'm hitting in the 3-hole. The guy in front of me strikes out. Maybe he saw something. Maybe the pitcher was tipping his pitches. He just missed on the pitch. Goes back to the batters, the on-deck circle. Whispers to someone, hey, I saw this. He's doing this. Watch out for it. Or say the person in front of me gets to second. He sees something with the catcher. That's why they have the new technology in your ear. But back in the day, runner on second, he's seeing if the pitch is inside, outside. He's trying to, throw signs back to the dugout, to the batter, where the pitch is going to be. That's the proper way to cheat. It's the players on the field. But when you start adding technology, people not involved in the game per se, you got people in the stands, you got computers, you got recordings, you got buzzers. That's illegal. So that's how you properly cheat within the game. People have been stealing signs forever, trying to get that edge, but they just took it to a new level, and they admitted to it. And it was a huge impact on the history of the game. They won a World Series, and they admitted to it. So with that, I mean, if you're gonna keep other players out for such as PEDs because they had an unfair advantage, Houston had the answers to the test. When you have the answers to the test, it's hard for me to defend. So
this sounds like a bitter Yankees fan when Aroldis Chapman grooved one to Jose Altuve.
Oh, don't even get me on the little guy. I don't even want to start that MVP. Oh God, man. But yeah, I am bitter. But if they weren't counting that, if it's just on the field, Carlos Beltran is a Hall of Famer. but I don't think he should be in because of the cheating.
So that keeps him out forever in your mind. To me, okay, he doesn't get in on the first
When the
ballot.
steroid guys get in, then I'll say, okay, all bets are off.
What are you talking about? The steroid guys are in. There are steroid guys in. Don't even.
So if Bonds not getting in, Clemens ain't getting in. Come on, bro.
They're in a league of their own in terms of steroid, and so is Canseco, McGwire, Sosa, right? A-Rod. You get these painfully obvious guys, and then you get the guys, I don't know, but you really do know.
Obvious.
What's that?
David Ortiz wasn't obvious. Come on.
Look, I'm just saying. Yeah, and we don't know. Again, I'm a big believer in. We don't know who was clean. Jeter could have used, for all we know. We don't know he didn't.
Oh, we're gonna get deep in the weeds here. Look, people are picking and choosing. Look at the Rangers. Prime example. Why does Pudge get a pass? Juan Gonzalez.
He shouldn't. Juan Gonzalez should get in. They all should be in.
Room in the history of baseball. You got Rafi Palmeiro, 3,000 hits, 500 home runs. You got Juan Gon with 2 MVPs.
They should all be in. Yes.
Yeah. And then Pudge is considered one of the best, possibly on the Mount Rushmore. I think he is. Defensively, probably one of the best catchers of all time. I love Pudge. But come on, man. Why does he get a pass? That 4-hit was more like a 5-hit. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, here comes Snoop. Snoop must be working late. If they ever fail to test, they shouldn't get in. Dude, that's not even. I don't know. That's
the thing is. My thing is like Beltran admitted to cheating. Yes, I know there's cheaters in there, but he admitted to cheating. He's not in yet, so
I actually respect him more because he admitted it. The other guys still deny it
because he was given immunity. If
okay.
he was given immunity, come on, man. It's not admitting when your hand was caught in the cookie jar.
So you're saying Beltran should never get in because of that?
I don't think so, bro.
Dude, you're crazy.
They cheated, bro. They manipulated the outcome of the game.
For one, all right. Do you think he did it his whole career?
No.
Okay.
You think Bonds used steroids his whole career?
No, of course not. I think Bonds should be in. No, he's on the Mount Rushmore of greatest players of all time. Best player I've ever seen play is Barry Bonds, and it's not even close. It's Barry Bonds.
You're preaching to the choir, bro.
But
I don't think 167.
I just don't think that making a mistake or even multiple mistakes. We're going to talk about Manny Ramirez in a minute. Should that tarnish and ruin and just make your entire career worthless if you do something, make a bad judgment call, make a bad decision, whether it's using steroids or banging trash cans or whatever it is? To me, I'm more like a guy that, God, just you can't just throw the baby out with. You can't throw away their whole career for one thing or two things.
Most frustrating thing when it comes to baseball is like Bonds. You were already a Hall of Famer, bro. You just got greedy. Clemens, you just got greedy. Altuve has proven he didn't need to cheat. Altuve is still a beast. He's probably going to get 3,000 hits. It's frustrating. The fact that they had to cheat is what upsets me. But they admitted to it. The thing is, if there was an investigation and it came out with insufficient evidence, then I'd be like, get them in. There was no evidence, but they admitted to it. They did the crime. They knew the rules going into it.
Well, let's move on to a guy that I'm shocked.
It's not even like Beltran's inner circle. Who cares?
No, but he should be in the Hall of Fame, in my opinion, regardless of what happened in 2017.
The thing is, it's just they won a World Series because of it. That's what upsets me.
How do you know they wouldn't have won the World Series anyway?
We don't.
Okay. I don't want to get too far out. We got plenty of guys to talk all this stuff about. We got like 40 more dudes to talk about. All right. Mark Buehrle, the fact that he's even still on the ballot, he's on his 6th ballot, actually. No.
Yeah, I'm with you. I never thought so either, but I mean, he's on there because I think he's got like 200 wins, doesn't he? He's got a lot of wins.
Yeah, but he never did. He ever win a Cy? I don't think he ever won a Cy Young.
No, he's got like a 4 or 5 All-Stars, 200+ wins. He was just like maybe a no-hitter.
He did have a no-hitter. He played 16 seasons. I mean, WAR almost 60. That's not tremendous, but that's not terrible.
No, 60.
He never won 20 games. He never. Yeah, he's a no. He's an easy no.
Is when he's on your team, he was great because he was consistent. You know, he was going to give you innings. He was going to be in every game he pitched. But he's not like a Doc Holliday, a Scherzer. He was just a really good player for a very long time. And
that's not good enough to me.
That's okay. You know, not everyone can be a Hall of Famer.
And here's White Sox Tom, and you know, he's like, and he played for the White Sox most of his career, and he's like, nope. Very good for sure, no question. All right.
Automatic.
Next up, geez, Mikey. Oh, I love it. Man, I knew there was a reason I liked Mikey. He's just
100%. I'm with you, geez.
Wise beyond his years. All right.
It's a museum. It's a museum. Appreciate the game. Appreciate the players.
For sure.
Hey, if Bud Selig is in because of the summer of '98, I'm not saying that's the only reason he's in. You know, he helped with interleague. He helped set up the World Baseball Club. He did a lot of things for baseball. But the summer of '98 is what brought baseball back. It's one of my fondest memories as a fan, as a kid growing up. And this mother trucker is a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
He's a Hall of Famer. Why can't Mark, Sosa, Bonds, all these guys who helped him get him there, they're out, but he's in. He knew what was going on. Come on, man.
All right. Next up is Cargo. Man, for a period of time early in his career, Carlos Gonzalez screamed Hall of Famer to me.
2-3 years.
5-tool guy. And then he literally fell off the planet.
He was a poor man's Carlos Beltran.
Yeah. He just couldn't sustain it. I mean, he played in Colorado. Again, I never fault a guy. You can't help where you're drafted. Todd Helton, Larry Walker, right? I mean, well, Larry Walker wasn't drafted by Colorado, but you get my point. Where you play is not, but sometimes you get to play.
If you notice, the drop off is when he played elsewhere. It wasn't. He was great in Colorado.
Yeah, he was insanely good. He's not a Hall of Famer, but he was really good early. And I'm like, okay, this guy's on. I bought an autograph of his, thinking, oh my gosh, this guy is going to be really good. And yeah, that didn't.
Yeah, he have a cool nickname too. Everyone was like Cargo, but no. 2-3 years, great player, and then fell off the map. So he's a no.
Yeah, he did not age well. Damn it. I'm watching this Stars game. They're playing Carolina, big game. Okay. Whew. Curtis Granderson, the Grandy man.
Grandy man can. Again, nice player. Good. Flashes of greatness. But he not one time have I ever thought he was a Hall of Famer, All-Star, perhaps here and there, but he was just one of those solid guys that you enjoyed having at the top of the lineup. He was going to get on base. He was going to use his speed, plus defender. But that's like I said, and it's okay. You could be a real good player for a very long time, which he was. Not everyone could be a Hall of Famer.
I didn't know that with the Yankees, he led the league in RBI. He hit 41 and 43 homers 2 straight years in 11 and 12 for the Yankees.
That's
still sucked, but at least he played good.
Grandy man can. That was a good home run call.
Yeah, I mean, again, we're seeing this is consistent so far. Good players, right? Good careers. They all have more hits and homers than I do in the major leagues. So
okay to talk about, hey, are they worthy? Are they not?
Yep. And so far it's been a lot of, I think Beltran, Yes, but most of these guys we're going to have this same.
I agree with you 100%. Beltran is a Hall of Famer. If it's on, like I said, if we're keeping it on the field, there's other players that because of outside influences, allegations, PED use, these guys on the field are Hall of Famers. But at the end of the day, if we're going to count, biases of the writers, the integrity of the creed of the Hall of Fame, then that has to be included. If I was going to vote, I'll vote Beltran. I would, but he's not getting it.
All right. Next is King Felix.
I love it.
God, for about 8 years there, he was so much fun to watch pitch. He was so good.
It's almost like a DeGrom type situation where they're winning Cy Youngs with barely 10 wins.
Right.
They won. I think Felix won multiple ERA titles. I think he won 2.
He won
got
2.
One Cy Young.
Yeah.
He's only got like 160 wins. If he was on any other team, he'd probably be north of 200. But the thing with King Felix, the only thing that might save him, and Johan Santana is in the same boat, but Johan's got 2 Cy Youngs, is the way that after the big dogs, after Greinke, Scherzer, Kershaw, and Verlander retired, those are the last horses that we'll see, I think, in my lifetime. They're going to have to change the way starting pitchers are perceived into the Hall of Fame. And a lot of, I love Dom. I love watching Jake, but Dom he got me into the war and Saber Matrix because I'm at the age where I can say I've seen these players play. So right. I do a lot of eye tests. And Felix had the eye test for me. And I just learned some about like peak WAR, where they're starting to do like their 7 best years. And they might start leaning on that for starters because you're not going to see a 300-game winner no more. You still see 3K club because offensive hitters just strike out crazy. Like Blake Snell. Blake Snell will pitch 6 innings and get 10, 12 strikeouts.
Yeah, 13 strikeouts or something.
Bananas. So I think the 3K club is still a viable club for pitchers, but the days of 300, 250, that might be tough, man. So I think those milestone clubs might change. If not, they're going to lean towards that peak 7-year WAR. Dom is an expert with all that.
Yeah, the thing about Felix for me is he was really good for not Koufax good, but he played for his team. The teams he played for were so bad that you kind of go, he was really good on really bad teams. And I mean, he had in his peak, he was putting up 214 ERA, 227, 249, 306, 304. That's great,
100%. I felt bad. I mean, I said it before. I was like, man, pitchers go to Seattle to die. Sometimes it's like I felt so bad because they had no offense up there. Like if Felix was anywhere else, if he was a Dodger, a Yankee, a Philly, he will have 210 wins at least. At least. It's just he won so many games 2-1, 1-0, 3-2. I felt bad for him.
I do think that his falling off so hard after 30, just turning 30, pretty much washed him up. Yeah. And that's kind of a shame. I don't know. Obviously he didn't have much left in the tank, but I don't know.
That's not long enough.
We'll see if he's on one of our ballots when we get there. Let's move on from King Felix.
My boy Jake, WAR 7 is what I mean. See, I don't know.
WAR 7. Yep.
Oh,
Torrey Hunter. We don't even need to talk about Torrey Hunter, do we? Really? He's on his 5th ballot, but come on.
Bro, I mean, of all the players that we've wasted time on, Torrey Hunter deserves a little love. I'm not saying he's a Hall of Famer, but 9 Gold Gloves. I want to say he had like 2,700 hits. I don't know how many. I don't know how many hits he got, but a couple of All-Stars, but 9 Gold Gloves. He was smooth with it, man. He was a nice hitter. He did well in the playoffs, so he showed up in the playoffs, unlike some of these people on the ballot. Torrey Hunter was very good for a very long time and was smooth with it in the outfield. And people don't love defense like I do. I love defense. I love Gold Gloves. But yeah, he deserves to be mentioned, but he's not a Hall of Famer.
350 homers, almost 1,400 RBIs. That's actually a lot.
People think of him as just a defender, but he was very nice on the offensive side of the ball. 350. I didn't know he had that many. I knew he was a little over 300, but
at 353 was his total.
Yeah, I know his WAR was like 50-ish. So he was no slouch. He was nice for a long time, and way better than Cargo, way better than some of these other cats we talked about.
Good point. Yeah, that's a great point. He better than Cargo for sure. Next up, another center fielder, Adam Jones, first year on the ballot.
Oh, Pac-Man.
Yep.
Couple All-Stars. Was nice with Baltimore from what I remember, but he was an All-Star. Like I said, a good player, but not even for a long time, I don't think.
Well, he had 5 All-Star appearances, which is not terrible, but his WAR's, 32.
Yeah. Had some good seasons. And I think his best seasons were in Camden, where if you're a decent hitter, you're going to crush them. But,
280 home. Yeah, he just doesn't get there. He doesn't make it. He doesn't have enough, not enough juice in the tank. All right, the next Jones. Here we go. Andrew frickin' Jones is on his 8th ballot.
I love Andrew Jones. I don't know why people don't give him more love. I can tell you this. If my man decided to call it a career after Atlanta, he would have been in years ago. But Andrew decided to stick around and play for the Yankees, the Dodgers,
the Rangers.
Oh, the Rangers. And people remember the sad ending to the career. But they don't remember probably one of the 3 greatest center fielders ever. And I say that because I love defense. People always say, "Oh, Jim Edmonds." Jim Edmonds was nice, but you could not even. Edmonds couldn't even hold his job. Andrew Jones made it look so easy in the outfield that it was a detriment to him because it didn't show how difficult it was. 10 Gold Gloves, 5 All-Stars. His WAR is 62, 430 home runs. So he had the defense with the offense. I just remember when he was 19 years old, he was in the World Series and hit 2 home runs in game 1. I'm like, this kid is going to be a problem for a long time. That was against my Yankees in 96. That's why it stuck with me. I'm like, man. So I always followed his career. At 19, I'm like, this kid is doing this at 19. I really thought he was going to be the next Griffey. To do that, play center field like he did. When I was looking up, his defensive prowess, 24.4 defensive WAR, which is the highest in the history for any outfielder. His defense, the capabilities out there, it didn't matter. He saved runs. He robbed home runs. His arm was plus. He was just phenomenal. And people only remembered the Dodgers, the Yankees, and the Rangers. Like, come on, this kid was a feared hitter in that month. That lineup had monsters in there, but you knew Andrew Jones was a problem. I just love Andrew Jones, and he is a big yes for the Hall of Fame for me.
Well, I'm glad we got that off. I'm glad you got that off your chest.
I think Jake agrees.
All right, I'll talk about the next guy because I saw him play every day for a long time. Ian Kinsler, first ballot.
Probably the only person that saw him every day because he was high.
He is not a Hall of Famer. And he played for my beloved Rangers for a bulk of his career. 54 WAR though. I mean, he's not terrible, right?
No,
And
couple all-stars, right? Couple all-stars.
four all-star appearances.
No
2 Gold
hardware.
Gloves even. But no, I mean, he was just good. Pedroia was better, right? We'll get to Pedroia.
Yeah, unfortunately, he was better, but
if I had to choose one of those two, I'd pick Pedroia over Kinsler.
Yeah, I think the laser show. Laser show was much better. Peak was much better. But his MVP year was probably one of the weakest years of all time. There was like no one wanted to win the no one wanted to win the MVP that year in 2008.
Right.
I think the numbers he had, Aaron Judge had him at the All-Star break this year. It was ridiculous.
You have anything you want to say about Russell Martin or Brian McCann? I think they're both easy no's. Although I'd pick McCann over Martin.
100%. But like when he left Boston, when he left Atlanta and went to New York, he disappeared. Like the bright lights of New York, because he was nice in Atlanta and he signed that big contract, went to New York and melted. Like he disappeared. That's pretty much the last I heard about Brian McCann. So yeah.
Well, next up is Dustin Pedroia. Let me pull him up here.
Yeah, he was nice for a little bit. I forgot what type of injuries he had, but he wasn't too long.
I can't believe I just said what I said. Let me show you this. I'm going to share my screen. I love the compare tool on Baseball Reference.
Yeah, it's pretty dope.
So here's Pedroia versus Kinsler.
Mm-hmm.
Kinsler beats him in WAR, games, plate appearances, hits, home runs, RBIs, stolen bases. Pedroia has a higher average and on-base percentage. Pedroia has a lot more hardware.
A lot more games? I can't see the games. Were they about even? Because I just remember Dustin Pedroia not playing that many games in his career.
1,500 versus 1,888. So
like 3 more seasons.
300 and something. 2 more seasons, really? 2.5?
Yeah, you're right.
That's not that many, really. Yeah, Pedroia was just one of those little pesky dudes, very not as good as Altuve, but Altuve-esque,
Ignore the crap out of me.
I hated seeing.
Yeah, you're right. He does have the hardware. It was just funny when I was looking. I was like, who came second in 2008? Like, how come no one could take this MVP from this second baseman, 5 foot nothing, 120 pounds and nothing? 2008 MVP year, he had 118 runs, 17 home runs, 83 RBIs, 20 stolen bases, and that won the MVP. Justin Morneau had like 28 home runs or something like that. It was just, rookie of the year too. I mean, he's got some hardware. Maybe the East Coast bias helped him, but I never thought he was all that great. He was just a pest. I couldn't stand him, man.
Yeah. All right, talk about your boy Andy Pettitte, because I need somebody to convince me that he's worthy of the Hall of Fame, because I think he's absolutely no.
Yeah, I mean, you're looking at metrics. Aside from him being like best friends from Roger Clemens, if we're just looking at the pure numbers, he does have 256 wins off the top of my head, 256, 5 World Series, core 4. I mean, he showed up big in the playoffs. People don't realize, people forget that playoffs count towards people's careers. And this is going to go into my argument about one guy we're going to bump heads in. He showed up big. He was one of those pitchers. When he was on the mound, you were going to battle for every hit. And I do love Andy Pettitte, but he doesn't hit anything major. He doesn't have 2,500 strikeouts. He's close. He's at like 2,400 strikeouts, north of 250. But he doesn't have any real hardware. I don't know his WAR, but the guy was for
60.2 is his WAR.
Oh, is it? Mm-hmm. Man, the guy, he was a bulldog, man. Like I said, he's almost like Dominican Dandy. The Dominican Dandy didn't have the Cy Youngs just because of Gibby, Sandy Koufax. there was always someone who's just that 1% always going to get the hardware. But that was Andy Pettitte. You know, 250 wins is not something that they give out. The guy was a stud. But honestly, I wouldn't put him. I mean, he's not a Hall of Famer. He's not. I'm not one to convince you to be like, oh, he's in the Hall of Fame, because I don't think he is.
He started 44 games in the playoffs, which is essentially another season and a half almost.
What was the numbers?
19 and 11. Pretty solid. That's solid. 381 ERA. That's solid, right? He only had 183 strikeouts, which still, you know, if you kind of tack those on to his, you know, his career stats, it still doesn't get him to 3,000, but gets him closer, right? Almost.
You gotta remember, when you go into the playoffs, people are like, oh, numbers. That's what separates the men from the boys, right? You're playing the best competition at that point. You're not playing the Marlins. You're not playing, you know, I don't know, scrubs. When you're in the playoffs, you're going against, and everyone's playing. They're playing hurt. So playoff records mean a lot to me. And then, you know, everything's amplified. You know, people show up. You could test the mettle of somebody. And if you're 19 wins in the playoff, you're there a lot. A lot of strikeouts. The strikeouts, you could take that. I'd rather have the W's than someone who's getting 20 strikeouts a game. But yeah, playoffs mean a lot, and he showed up all the time. Sure, I'm trying to convince myself that he is a Hall of Famer. But
all right, let me ask you this. If Felix played for the same Yankees teams, who's a better pitcher? Who would you rather have?
Well, if we're just talking regular season, then it's probably going to be Felix.
Well, we don't know what Felix would have done in the postseason. we have no idea.
The thing is, I was getting into it with a buddy of mine. Kershaw is the greatest. I'm like, so recently, I would have taken Mad Bum over Kershaw, because Mad Bum, when he was in the playoffs, he was lights out, and Kershaw was like throwing batting practice. I'm not saying Kershaw is a scrub. Kershaw is a Hall of Famer, but for a long time, you can pull up his playoff record. It was atrocious.
Well, I want to give you my theory on playoffs, and I want you to. I think that your playoff record and performance can only enhance your Hall of Fame pedigree. I don't think it can really detract from it. And what I mean by that is, because Aaron Judge did not have a great postseason for the Yankees this year, and nobody's going to give a rat's butt because of the regular season he had. And so you look at a guy like I don't think it hurts Kershaw's legacy that he has not really stepped up in the playoffs like you would have expected him to. It can help you. Schilling is a great example. Schilling was a great regular season pitcher too, but his postseason was outstanding. Pedro Martinez, absolutely. You know, you got guys that it helps them. Koufax was the same way, truthfully, and you know, Bob Gibson and guys like that.
I can see that. I can see your point. Like, it's the cherry on top. Like,
yes,
it can only help. I get that.
That's kind of where I go with. Yeah, Jack Morris, great example. Jack Morris, totally. If Jack Morris didn't have his postseason success, he would not be in the Hall of Fame, but he did, and so that helps him. Does that make sense? Like, I think that got him over the edge. I think that it can definitely help, and so I think if Pettitte didn't play for the Yankees, who said this? Stargazer, good point. Wait, wrong comment. If Pettitte didn't play for the Yankees and the Astros when they were really good, right? He was good for multiple, for two teams in the playoffs.
That's the thing. It's like he played elsewhere. He still performed. 250 wins. That's a lot of W's. You're showing up to play.
I get it. I'm not saying he's not very good. I just don't know that.
No, I'm with you. I'm like Jake. You got to hit those. What's he always say? Matrix or metrics. You got to hit certain numbers, and he's not in any of those prestigious clubs. He's got a lot of World Series wins, He's got that's why I always laugh about the Lewis T argument. I'm like, he's got 210 wins, bro. That's done. The conversation is over.
All right. How about we'll talk about hand ram and then we'll talk about man ram. Hand ram to me, Hanley Ramirez was one of those guys, a lot like Carlos Gonzalez. Early in his career, I'm like, holy crap. He was he was playing for the Marlins, right? So he was really good, putting up really good numbers, having some good seasons, and then
I paid and fizzled out.
Yeah, he did. In fact,
Pablo Sandoval got paid and fizzled out. It's like when we went to Boston and it's like this guy showed up 300 pounds. He was always a big boy, but sometimes these guys, their incentive or their motivation is that check, not the Hall of Fame, not their legacy. They crush it, they practice, they eat right, they do well, they get that check, and they disappear.
Yeah.
And I don't want to say there's no shame in that, but big sexy Bartolo Colon, 247. Don't forget that one home run. You got to credit that one home run. But
he did.
Yeah, Hamram is not even sniffing the Hall of Fame. He's lucky that his name even shows up on the ballot.
Agreed. All right, Manny being Manny.
Well, as a right-handed hitter from my lifetime, the best right-handed hitter. You know, Griffey had the left side, the prettiest left-handed stroke I've ever seen. When it came to the right side, that was Manny for me. It was artistry. It was just artistry in motion. He knew how to strike that ball. 555 home runs, I believe it is what it was. His WAR is actually not as high as I thought it was going to be. But I mean, honestly, he was one of the most feared hitters in every ballpark, everywhere he went. You did not want Manny to beat you. Now, defensively, he was a liability. His baseball IQ, when he was at the plate, his baseball IQ was up there with some of the greats. Defensively, it was little league sometimes. But, I loved watching him. And I think some of that, you can attribute to some of that, it's part of the entertainment. He was just out there. It's just the way he played the field and then hit, it was just natural ability, right? The guy was born to play ball. He was just out there having fun. I don't think he took his defense too serious because his offense was so great. But man, he has all the hardware, great highlights, great lowlights, fan favorite. It's hard to hate Manny, man. I like him, man. I was mad when he popped hot on his test. I was, because I really enjoyed him. And like most fans, I felt like I was robbed. Like, come on, bro. You didn't need it. It's like all these guys didn't need it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Phil's saying, let Manny get in. He's only suspended 3 times for steroids, but he learned this lesson.
Third time's a charm.
Oh, gosh. To me, he was a beast. Albert Bell, I think, was the guy for me that I never wanted to see come up.
James Elite Hunters loves Albert Bell.
Sheffield, same way. I felt the same way about Sheffield. I think Sheffield should be in, no question. I think the speculation on Sheffield bothers me a lot. That people, anyway, he's not on the ballot, but I would love to see Manny get in. He was an absolute beast, and like you said, these guys, they just wanted the money, you know. Okay, Fernando Rodney, no, don't even need to talk about him.
Okay, you beat me to it. I think he's the best closer on the ballot.
Dude.
Oh, I'm sorry. Never mind. I'm drinking too much. Not Fernando Rodney. I'm thinking K-Rod.
I was about to look up some stats and go, dude, we need to talk.
Fernando Rodney was a Ray. He did the arrow.
He did, and he had the crooked hat all the time. Remember that?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I remember that. You gotta remember, you pushed this back. This is my third bourbon, bro.
Fernando Rodney is he's got a 7.4 career WAR. I don't think he's going to make it.
No thanks.
First and next. All right, next up. Rodney was a stud. Look, he had a couple of good seasons.
He had a couple of seasons, but
a couple of 48 save seasons.
Yeah, he was great with the Rays. When he was in Tampa, he was actually real nice. I don't really remember him anywhere else.
Detroit. He played for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 different teams in 17 years.
That's like the closer is like the equivalent to an NFL kicker. They just bounce around, find a hole.
He was 48 and 71 for his career. That's, okay. A-Rod. I happen to have. I'm going to show a card because this is a card channel, but I got a little A-Rod auto right there.
You should be showing cards, bro.
Got one.
A-Rod, love A-Rod. 696 home runs, 3,000 hits, 3 MVPs. One of 12 people to have 3 MVPs. What can you say about? What can you not say about him? I mean, he admitted to using PEDs. That sucks. But if it was, he should be an inner circle Hall of Famer. 696, 3,000 hits, 117 WAR. Dude. The guy was phenomenal. Yeah, it's just a shame. It's like, what can you say? It's a damn shame. The whole PED thing. The guy.
We agree.
No doubt about Hall of Fame, but I think he failed 2 tests. He didn't learn his lesson.
But I think Kebbo's right here. If A-Rod gets in, then all right, stop it with the whole roid thing. I don't think he will, but I think if he ever does,
being on TV does help him. Him interacting with David Ortiz helps him, especially a guy who's failed PED tests and he's in the Hall of Fame. It has helped. But until Barry Bonds gets in, Barry Bonds is the greatest player I've ever seen. And if he doesn't get in, that's gonna be tough for anyone else, even as great as A-Rod is.
All right, here's your next guy that I know you want to talk about him. I'm going to compare Fernando Rodney and K-Rod.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not even close. K-Rod is way better.
Bro, okay, so I know everyone's on Billy Wagner's job. I am not one of them. Thing with me, if Billy Wagner gets in, which he will because he's on track, he's going to be the bar. He's going to allow Kenley Jansen to get in. He's going to allow Craig Kimbrell. But Craig Kimbrell, looking into his numbers, he's a Hall of Famer. That guy's got a crazy resume. I didn't expect it to be that good. But anyway,
I think he should be in for sure.
Yeah, I was digging
into a video on it not that long ago.
Yeah, Craig Kimbrell he was phenomenal. I knew he was good, but digging in to prove my point about Billy Wagner. So my point is, Billy Wagner gets in. Those two are definitely getting in. Kenley Jansen, Craig Kimbrell. And even with those two getting in, Billy Wagner will still be the worst one.
How? Look, I'm showing you Billy Wagner and K-Rod right now.
Bro, K-Rod has the MLB record for saves in a season. He's been in the Cy Young conversation, top 4 like 3 times. That 2008 MVP year when we were talking about Pedroia, K-Rod was 6 for the MVP. Billy Wagner, I know we just talked about playoffs, but look at his playoffs, bro. His playoffs, he was 1-1, ERA of 10, 3 saves and 14 appearances. He melted down in the biggest of moments. He was no one special. He was good. He was the best reliever, the Rollins relief winner one time.
He had a 2.30 ERA for his career in almost 1,000 innings.
Yeah, 422 saves, dude. That's not a big number. That's not 422 saves. It's not. And you're saying
K-Rod only had 437.
You said Mo Rivera and Billy Wagner are the same.
No, I didn't really mean that. Come on.
Okay, because I was gonna say Mo's WAR is twice his, just about. I mean, 6-time All-Star for K-Rod, 2-time Rollins relief. He has 1,142 strikeouts. I mean, and then on top of that, K-Rod, he has a cooler nickname, but he showed up in the playoffs. Come on, man. It's not even close in my book. Like Billy Wagner, you see him, he was nice, but not one time was like, oh my God, he's gonna be in the Hall of Fame. This guy is shut up. He was just a good pitcher. Nothing about him. He's got 7 All-Stars, like 422. I mean, he's gonna be the bottom. He's gonna be the bar for I don't want to say it because it's gonna trigger John. But he's going to be the Mendoza line for closers. 422.
I mean, closers are so tough because it used to be, Gossage, Fingers, Eck.
But Eck, it's different for Eck.
Right. Even different for Eck, right? Eck started Tom Hinkie, those guys, Joe Nathan. There's a lot of really good closers.
My thing is it's kind of like second baseman. We shouldn't water it down because they're not represented well enough. We should get more closers in because there's only a handful of closers. I agree. We should look at closers, but we shouldn't lower the bar. The guy's got 7 All-Stars and 422 saves. That does not scream Hall of Fame. Trevor Hoffman, 600 plus. Mo Rivera, 600 plus. I think he's like 650 something. But like, why are we lowering it? Because we want to get more representation. Let's just wait for another closer to step up. Like I said, Craig Kimbrell, when he's eligible, is going to be a Hall of Famer. He's got 450 plus saves, I believe. He's got Rookie of the Year, different types of accolades. Because now they do the Hoffman Award if you're in the National League and the Rivera Award in the AL. But Billy Wagner's, I don't want to say he's trash because he's not. He's a very good player, but everyone's just saying he's no doubt about it. I don't even think he's the best closer on the ballot, and people aren't even giving K-Rod a chance. And he's got the save. I mean, he's got the saves for a season for a closer, World Series hardware, been in the Cy Young conversation. Well, I won't say conversation. These top 4 getting votes. And he was in the MVP conversation in 2008. And Billy Wagner came and sniffed that, dude. Not even close.
And there's a lot of knock. Well, they only pitch 1 inning. They only do blah, blah, blah. That kind of stuff.
Apple bond. Don't get me started on that.
It's tough. I do think you have to evaluate closers versus other closers because it's a unique position. It's something that you have to say, okay, the top 10 career leaders in saves are Mo, Trevor. Yep. You agree they both should be in the Hall of Fame?
Yeah, they're the only ones in the 600 club. There's no one else in the 500 club if I'm right.
Yeah, you're right. Next is Lee Smith with 478. Lee Smith should be in the Hall of Fame. Then you got Kenley Jansen and Craig Kimbrell next in the top 5.
Which is what I'm talking about. I was like, I understand about representation. We should get. That's why I think certain people get more play at second base, like Utley. We didn't even touch him. He sucks. But
dang.
But my thing is like we shouldn't just allow someone in because he was a nice player and there's not enough representation, so he should be good enough. If the club is 450, let's make it 450. Because Kenley Jansen did it for longer. I think he did it better. Same thing with Kimbrell. Hardware, championships. I mean, like I said, the thing that I was like, okay, I was trying to get on the Billy Wagner wagon, but I know you said the playoffs only help, but how can you be considered a stud, a Hall of Famer, and you're showing up to the playoffs and your ERA is 10? You're a Hall of Famer. These are the greats. Yes, it shouldn't hurt you, but yes, it hurts you. You were a scrub in the playoffs. How is that elite? This is the 1% of the 1%.
All right.
You're a Hall of Famer.
Let's start with something simple. Should the top 10 guys in let's just use some stats and say top 10 guys in home runs probably we would say they should be in the Hall of Fame. Hits, RBIs, for pitchers, strikeouts, wins, ERA. Well, if you're a closer, your job is to save the game. And Billy Wagner is 8th all time. He's 2 behind John Franco in 7th, but Franco pitched 5 more seasons.
Yeah.
So
I'd rather have Franco than Billy Wagner.
Dude, all right. I'm not going to win you over on this. Apparently, let's.
Playoffs mean something, dude. I mean, he didn't do that in the playoffs. The thing is, I can understand because they're pitchers, if they don't get W's because they can't hit for the most part. They're not nationally. They can't contribute to that. But your ERA speaks volumes, and your job, you're coming in high leverage. You're supposed to close it out. If you're coming into the game, it means you either had a lead or you were tied because you were the high leverage closing guy. Your ERA is 10. Come on.
All right.
You didn't do your job.
There's 2 more guys I want to make sure we talk about, and then I want to get to our ballots because we've been on here how long already? I don't even know.
Lives, they changed it up on the live.
56 minutes. All right. 2 more guys, Utley and Rollins. To me, Rollins is way more deserving than Chase Utley.
Thank you.
As a Hall of Famer. It's not even close, really.
But I'll let you finish. But
people lose their mind if you say something like that. I'm like, have y'all actually looked at it? Like,
look at the numbers, bro. You know what it is? It's just what we talked about 30 seconds ago. The underrepresentation. Utley played second base. Jimmy is a shortstop. They're comparing him. But, bro, when you just look at the hardware, Jimmy Rollins, Silver Slugger, MVP, World Series in 2008, 4 Gold Gloves, 230 home runs. The guy was phenomenal. Nice in the playoffs. The thing is, and this is why I tell people.
Here you go.
This is why I tell people. Jimmy Rollins, if he wanted to, could play second base. My man was a shortstop. Arguably, shortstop is the best athlete. If the Phillies wanted him to, hey, Jimmy, go play second. He'd be a Hall of Famer right now. Chase Utley could not go from second to play shortstop. Trust me, it does not happen. If you're playing second, it's because you don't have the arm, you don't have the athleticism. Trust me, the Yankees tried it. Yeah, the Yankees tried it with Gleyber Torres and effed him up. He was hitting 38 home runs at second base. They moved him to shortstop. He's bumbling the ball, doing all kinds of things, and then they put him second. And it took him a little bit, but now he's hitting the ball again. Jimmy Rollins is a hell of a better player than Chase Utley ever was or dreams to be. But because he plays shortstop opposed to second, that's what people are looking at. So,
well, Utley has a higher WAR, more homers, more RBIs, played in less games, higher batting average, higher on base percentage, higher slugging, higher OPS, higher OPS plus, more All-Star games, more Silver Sluggers. So
it's going to be different because it's, WAR above replacement. I'm still learning the funny math. Dom always makes fun of me, but it's against other second basemen. It's not against shortstops, right?
Right.
Like Jimmy's being compared against his contemporaries, and shortstops are always top heavy because those are usually the best players on the field, man. To me, Jimmy Rollins, I always thought should get more love for the Hall of Fame. I don't know why Chase Utley, people were like tooting his horn, but I don't think he'll get in. I think that will die off. If Utley gets in, Lou Whitaker does it.
Well, I'm comparing Whitaker and Utley right now. This is fascinating. I'll show you this. This is pretty cool. I know it's hard to see this on the screen, but Lou has a better WAR by 10. Lou played in a lot more games, like 4 more seasons. So,
yeah.
But I think Sweet Lou should be in as well. I think
just being part of the longest double play combination in the history should, that's a nice little accolade. I
think Lou was better than Trammell. Truthfully, Trammell's in, and nobody's bitching about that. Well, some people do, but all right. Those are the last 2 guys I wanted to talk about. All right. You can vote for up to 10 players. We talked about most of them. There's a no-brainer we didn't talk about because it's an absolute no-brainer.
Yeah.
And so let me hear your ballot. Who would you vote for? If you had 10 votes, who would you vote for?
Okay. Do you want me to tell you who I think is going to get in, or you do that after?
No, tell me your ballot, then we'll say who you think is going to get in.
All right, so we get 10 votes. I only voted 8. Ichiro. I mean, if you know baseball, come on, man. I thought his WAR would be higher, but I mean, Ichiro, 10 Gold Gloves, MVP, AL, Rookie of the Year. I mean, and he came into the league at 27. I'm upset because I was robbed of like 6 years of Ichiro. I mean, but he did come in his prime years. But Ichiro, number 1 for me, followed by CC, Andrew Jones, K-Rod, Omar Vizquel. People forget, man. If the Wizard could get in, Omar could get in, and Omar's got like 2,700 hits. But that's off the field issues. A-Rod and Manny, and I snuck in Jimmy Rollins just to make it 8.
Okay. I usually have every year a hard time narrowing it down to 10. This year I only have 6 on my ballot. And it's
I thought you had 8.
No, I have 6. I got Beltran.
Mhm.
Sorry. Ichiro, of course. He may get 100. He's going to flirt with it for sure. 100%.
Yeah, I mean, Griffey, I thought was going to be. I mean, I'm glad Mo got it because I guess at his position, he was no doubt about it. But Griffey doesn't get 100%. What are we doing here, bro?
It is the whole. We talked about this off air.
Yeah.
The whole idea of first ballot guys not deserving a vote is so much bullshit to me. I can't even tell you. That is the dumbest, oldest rule, unspoken rule I've ever heard of. That is the dumbest thing ever. But all right. Beltran, Suzuki, of course. Billy Wagner is on my ballot. CC's on my ballot. A-Rod and Manny are on my ballot. Yeah. Now, I'll say first who I think is going to get in. And I'll also mention I think Dave Parker's going to get in. Mainly a sympathy. I mean, I think he should be a Hall of Famer, but sympathy vote because he's got Parkinson's. I just think he's going to I think he's going to get in. I think Vic Harris is going to get in, Negro League guy. And
I think
Tommy John. I think Tommy John's going to get in too.
Yeah, I've been telling people that's my sneaky pick because just 288 wins, and then people who don't know baseball know Tommy John due to the surgery, but it could be an exciting class, man, with the era committee because I think Cobra is getting in. Cobra has to get in. Dick Allen, I know he's fallen short twice by 1 vote, but his biggest argument's peak. I mean, I hate, I get the argument with the funny math, the peak years, but if we're going to pick and choose years, let's do it for Donnie Baseball. Donnie's got 9 Gold Gloves and an MVP. I mean, why is Dick Allen getting love? That's just me, though. But that's another argument for another day. But can you imagine the era committee with Parker, Tommy John, and then, Ichiro, CC, and, Billy Wagner's getting in. That would be a hell of a Hall of Fame class, in my opinion.
Yeah. I think Wagner, Sabathia, and Ichiro all get in this year.
Yeah. It could be, I know a couple of years. One year we had no one get in. Jeter was the other one that got in. Like, we had some small classes, but this could be a nice, big, fat class. That's going to be a good day, bro. Cobra, Tommy John, CC, Ichiro, Billy Wagner, and Vic. Because the way they set it up with the Negro League selections is like one or the other. It was like a 50-50. Yeah. So I think one of them might get in, but I don't want to fake the funk. I don't know much on either or. So,
and I'm a big Hall guy. I don't want the Baineses of the world being in, but I'm still a big Hall guy.
Just a bit of Wagner.
Hey. But it should be they'll announce it, in January or whatever, and they'll announce the Veterans Committee, Era Committee, whatever they call them now, on the 8th of December, which is just a couple weeks away. And then we will See
I
who
got
gets in.
2 things for you, bro. I know you're trying to.
No, it's all good.
When do we find out who's on the committee? Because I've been trying to find like little rumor mills, because that will speak volumes. If there's a bunch of Philly guys, if there's Twins, if there's Pirate guys in there, that's really going to be the deciding factor. It's all cronyism at the end of the day. But how soon can we find out about this committee?
We probably won't know till about a week before, would be my guess. They'll announce that. I would bet a guy like Jim Leland might be in that committee. Who just got in on his, last year on the committee. Somebody like that. Obviously, Leland's a Pirates guy. Yeah. And you're going to have, obviously, different guys in the room with, I wouldn't call it agendas, but they're definitely going to have their biases towards players they played with, people they, know. If Vic Harris gets in, nobody in the room is going to even know who he is. They're going to have to look and research. I hope these guys take it seriously and research the careers of each of these players. Like Garvey, he's not going to get in. And there, it's just like, it's tough. And some of the people think, hey, if you didn't get in on the writer's ballot after 10 or back then it was 15 seasons.
Yeah.
Too bad, so sad. You're not really a Hall of Famer now. And I don't agree with that. I don't know that we need to put everybody, in. Garvey and Mattingly are very similar to me in terms of their deservedness. Mattingly is, has a little more hard, batting titles and some other things. Garvey was better longer, but that's not. I don't. Also, hey, Mattingly his back got hurt. Well, life sucks. I mean, I don't.
No, I get it. It's part. Longevity is an ability as well. People sneeze at compilers. Hey, they don't keep scrubs around. If you're compiling long enough and blessed enough to compile away. I'm okay with compilers. That's how you hit milestones. I don't care if you played 20 seasons and.
Pedroia got his knee blown out on a slide. I can't even remember who it was that slid into him. But Pedroia got hurt and was never the same player, So, but it'll be fun to kind of see. What else did you have for me? You said you had a couple things.
Yeah, one last question. I'm not. I love my Hall of Fame rookie cards. I'm getting into the Hall of Fame autos. I'm creeping up to 100. But I'm not a big PSA guy. You are. Have you looked at I know you have the PSA set registry for rookie cards?
Yeah.
Why is the SP authentic for Ichiro and Pujols? The card shows, bro. I'm still going to stick to the tops because the SP authentic has gotten to a point. And the thing is, I was trying to get those like 5 years ago, and after COVID, that was impossible. Even we are, a fellow YouTuber, I collect Ichiro. I believe he had one. I was thinking about, but it's just at a price range. I'd rather get a Joey D or a Larry Doby than a 2001 SP Authentic Ichiro. You know what I'm saying? But
so back in that card, those two cards have been on that registry for 10 plus years, and the way the cards get on there is people vote.
Yeah.
And I don't know who would have voted for that. To me, a numbered card should never be a card on a registry that you want to try to entice people to be a part of it, right? And how are you going to do that when there's two cards on there that are basically impossible?
Yes.
And are not impossible. They're finite for sure, right? They're numbered to what, 1250 or whatever. That to me, that just it should be their tops rookies. Like, come on.
Yes, that was my theory. I was hoping you had a little insight, which you did. You helped me out with that.
There has been some ruckus made among the people that collect that set. The future Hall of Fame rookies.
So like anything else, right? You got your cronyism, you got your inner circle, maybe, the PSA set registry. I'm not part of it, but I know it's highly competitive, and that's one of the most popular sets that that people love. I mean, it's Hall of Fame's rookie cards. It's a match made in heaven. I just figured when it came to, hey, let's put these cards in, the people who had these cards were like, hey, this is a card we should, because those are heavy points. Those are heavy hitters, aren't they?
Yeah.
So I just didn't know the process into getting the card onto the set registry when people knew, yo, Ichiro and Pujols are on the trajectory of being Hall of Famers. Let's get this on the future set. Like, I just didn't know that process. Like, is it a written in ballot? Is it just recommendations? Like if I want Jose Altuve,
the first thing is, and especially now, it's should this player be included? That's question number one that they ask. They'll send out a survey to anybody that's in that registry and say, should Omar Vizquel be on the future Hall of Fame set? Yes. And then you all say yes or no, and they say, okay, great. And then in terms of determining what card is actually used, I've heard rumors about why the two SP Authentic cards are on there. Nobody can give me a straight answer, really. I think they just, again, why isn't it just they have base tops cards? What's wrong with those?
I think it's the set registry that dictated. The people who have it, especially the ones in high grade, pushed it somehow, got in someone's ear, just because now you have some separation in that set registry where now that's just my theory on it, because I mean, you're a heavy hitter if you're already in that set and you're in the top 10. Now you're really separating,
Yeah, I'll tell you where I am. I'm not high on that, even though I have almost all of the cards. There's a couple guys I'm not going to get. I don't want to get Miguel Tejada's rookie card, even though he's on that. I just refuse.
Oh, that's the future. I mean, the thing is,
yeah,
Ichiro he's going to be in after the whatchamacallit, but yeah, the future Hall of Fame.
All they do is take the future Hall of Fame rookie cards and move them over to the post-war Hall of Fame rookie card set. That's all they do. And so I'm hoping that this time they will not use the same card that's being used for, future Hall of Famers. I'm number 48, and I have 90% of the set done.
Of the futures?
Yeah.
You got the B-rolls?
I do.
Nice. I think I missed that one.
I just got it in the Grail collection.
Yeah. Where are you on the big boy, the Hall of Fame rookie card?
Hall of Fame rookies, post-war. I'm number 69, and I have 94% of the set done.
You got the Newhouser. That's a tough one.
Missing Newhouser, missing Eddie Matthews. I can tell you, I got it right here.
Yeah, I think that's going to be a retirement gift for myself. I want to go after the Eddie Matthews. James picked that one up.
I don't blame you. I'm missing Red Sheendienst, 48 Bowman. That's an expensive card.
That's a Sheendienst, 48?
Yeah.
That one. That's not a tough card.
I don't have it. Jackie Robinson. My Jackie rookie I have in an SGC slab, so it's not on here.
Oh.
My Gil Hodges rookie I have, it's in an SGC slab. Bob Lemon.
I just like having the list. That list is great. So I mean, I'm not a set registry guy, but I love that list because it's just something to shoot for. But the Ichiro bothered me because everyone has the dual Pujols. Ichiro is a great card. Having two Hall of Famers on that card. I got the Ichiro, I got the Pujols, and you would think Topps base, but SP Authentic for the win just came out of nowhere. I was just curious because you know the PSA history a little bit more, the ins and outs. I was just curious. I know it's going to drive Chris from Missouri crazy because he's got the master set, but do you have the SP Authentic, my friend? Because he has the Leafs and the Bowmans, the early Bowmans, which are super tough. I know he got that Hal Newhouser, which is pretty dope. But that SP Authentic Ichiro, he's going to be scouring Missouri for that.
He knows. He's well aware. He has the Hoyt Wilhelm. Like, he has all the big ones. which
love
is awesome. All right,
I mean,
man.
I
We've
wish
been
I
going a
could-
while.
I can't see the cards with all the tape, but
I got to tell everybody that I came to Tampa and I was going to hang out with Lou, and he dissed me, and he said, "I don't have time for you. I only hang out with Mangini and other guys, all the misfits."
you know, I wouldn't do that to you, brother. I really wanted to. I just couldn't get off of work.
I know. I'm joking. I'm just messing with you.
But you know, my wife bleeds red, and we want to go to Texas, so. You know, hopefully I can catch a Rangers game because I got to cross that stadium off my list.
Dallas Card Show too.
Huh?
We got to do Dallas Card Show.
Yeah, and the Dallas Card Show. So it's a weekend. It's a weekend trip that I want to plan during, you know, at least the Dallas Card Show. I want to see.
You got to come see the Beast, man. You got to come.
I want to go to the ranch. Honestly, I want to go there. I'll bring some adult beverages, or go to your range if you got some hogs that need shooting. I can shoot those suckers for you too.
We do all those things. I'm going tomorrow. So for the rest of the week.
Country girl, so she's all for it.
Bring her. Let's go. You got to bring Bob though.
Well, it depends on what kind of trip. If it's going to be, you know what I'm saying? If it's a family trip to see baseball, then yeah, Bob is coming. If not, then it's just me and the old lady, and you know.
Hey, Bob, I'll teach Bob how to shoot an AR. We'll have some fun.
Nah, bro, I'm surgical. She already knows. She knows how to clear a room. Let's put it that way. You know what I'm saying? She knows how to.
Love it. I
Keep it
love it.
real elementary, cut the pie, and then we can get into tactics about crosses and hooks, and she knows how to clear a room with her little BB gun.
Well, you are welcome here anytime, my friend. Anytime.
Yo, yeah, Ruben's right. I might get questioned by ICE, but hey, it's all good. I got ID.
I'll vouch for you. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching. Thanks for all the comments and everything. And we had a good time talking through this. Lou, thanks for collaborating with me for the first time. I can't believe we hadn't done this over the years.
Jumped on lives before, you know, by coincidence, and you know, we text. But yeah, it was fun to actually do something on purpose.
Amen to that.
Amen, brother.
All right, guys. Y'all have a great one. We'll talk to you soon. Keep collecting.
Go Yankees, baby. Go Yankees, always and forever.